Howdy indeed. Welcome to Never Not Funny, episode 1316, 1316. And 1316, we took a little trip, right? That's Columbus. What's that? How's that go? In 18... No, that's not even the Columbus song.
1492.
In 1813, we took a little trip in a mighty Mississippi. What is that? In 18... Hey, here's a song with numbers in it. Google that, Karen. At 18, I want to say 1813. Try that. At 1813, we took a little trip. Is that a song we learned in school about maybe Lewis and Clark or something?
Oh, maybe.
Remember Lewis and Clark taking a trip on the mighty Mississippi?
It could have been around that time. Oh, wait, Garen has something.
You got it, Garen? You already found it?
It's Battle of New Orleans in 1814.
In 1814, right? We took a little trip. Am I close?
Yeah. Along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi.
Ah, look, I'm pretty close.
I've never heard of this song.
And I was off by 1 year, wasn't I?
Yeah, Johnny Horton.
That's Johnny H. At 1814, took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. I added some words.
So that's the War of 1812 they're talking about. Is that right?
I don't know. No, Battle of New Orleans in 1814.
Yeah, but the War of 1812 was 2 years long.
Was it 2 years long?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
I believe it was.
What year did that start? Hey, that's a sixth grade teacher's joke, and I'm sure he gets a laugh every single year, or has a bunch of 12-year-olds staring at him.
I don't think
understand it.
Yeah, I don't think a teacher ever gets a laugh on purpose.
You know what? You're probably right.
Kids hate teachers, and they hate giving them any credit for anything.
Some kids fuck their teachers. Not all the kids hate their teachers. A nice senior in high school, a nice piece of ass, wants to get out there, swish it around for an A or whatever that happens. Sure. Or a younger kid goes with a was it Terry Letourneau?
It was something Letourneau. What was it?
Terry Letourneau might have been a girl I went to school with.
How many Letourneaus are there?
I know, right?
Is it Kate Letourneau?
What's the Letourneau's last name?
Mary Kay Letourneau.
Mary Kay Letourneau. That's right. She sold the cosmetics and banged around with children.
On the mighty Mississippi.
On the mighty Mississippi. They could be 18 or 14. Doesn't matter to her. She'll bang around down the mighty Mississippi. That's how easy it is to do a song parody poorly. All right, listen, welcome to the program. Jake Johannsen is going to be with us a little bit. Very exciting, as people were witness to. We talked about it on the live podcast. I hear that. I hear it.
Hey, Garen, is that your mic?
Garen, turn it off.
Mine's off.
Yeah, it was just
in
your lap. So your lap is radioactive then.
That's gay, right? That mic has gaydar.
That was crazy.
You put it down there, and it's afraid of AIDS. Get it away from your cock. How about kidding around? Make it around. I don't know what you got. Open sores down there. I don't know what you got. They go to bathhouses. That's what I see in Philadelphia. I know what happens in these things. They splash around.
Uh-huh.
The whole shot.
What does that have to do with open sores?
You fuck enough people, you're gonna get raw, and then your skin's gonna break open.
Well, that's what the bathhouse is for. There's a lot of moisture. It keeps it from.
Yeah, but if you're doing it so much, trust me. Trust me on this one. Okay,
you know what you're talking about.
Trust me, as a guy that masturbated chronically for a while in the early '90s, I know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Right, I would go into the hotel restroom, into my room, not downstairs.
Right.
I would turn the shower on hot, get the nice and steamy there, pretend I was in there experimenting. Right?
Play a whole little scene.
Philadelphia's playing out of DVD
right.
in the other room. Apparently, I had a portable DVD player in the early 90s.
One of the first DVD players.
I was very lucky to have that. Very lucky to have that.
Especially before the movie even came out.
You know that for the finale of Survivor, season 1, you know that I went to Sears. I was in Detroit City. Went to Sears, bought the TV VCR combo, and recorded Survivor.
Oh, wow.
While I was at my shows, came home and watched it, returned the combo the next day.
I love it. That's genius.
Right? That was when, remember, I mean, that was the finale of Survivor season 1. That was on the cover of,
it was an event.
Star and Inquirer. Mm-hmm. You know, who's it going to be? They were all wrong, of course, because, those people are parasites. But it was an event.
Which ones?
People that write for the
Star.
The
guy who won was a parasite.
He's in prison now.
Oh,
right?
Sorry to hear it.
Yeah, he's in prison for tax evasion, right? Isn't that what he's in there for?
Richard Hatch.
Dickie Hatch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew he had some troubles. I didn't know he was.
I think it's tax evasion, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Ellie, question?
Well, I was going to say, am I remembering correctly that he kind of looks like the guy from Lost that was, was that guy cast to look like him?
Which guy on Lost?
The bald guy. The bald guy who was...
Terry McQuinn? Is that his name, Terry O'Quinn?
Terry O'Quinn?
No, he doesn't look anything like him.
He wasn't a graying, balding guy?
No, he wasn't old. He was
No, he was young, probably-
slightly balding.
Probably
but
37.
Okay.
When Survivor was on. Like to walk around with his crank hanging out. That was a big deal.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody on Lost that looks like Richard Hatch.
Yeah, maybe one of the others.
Maybe. Richard Hatch, to me, his defining feature was his body was pear-shaped. Like he would always be naked, and he just was like, he just went like that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
But he lost weight out there on the island.
He did
They all
lose
did
weight.
early on. They don't really lose it anymore because it turns out they're feeding them now or something.
Really?
There's
changes
there's
everything.
always the chance that I've misread something.
Right.
But yeah, if you notice, like if you watch it, they don't lose. Like those first 2 seasons, they really lost weight.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's not really happening animore.
Maybe they just give them better skills to survive with. Because those first couple that I watched, they didn't know what they were doing. They tried to fish, they couldn't catch anything.
I also think that the challenges, the reward.
Oh, you win food more.
You win
often.
more. You win
Yeah,
more food.
makes sense.
Yeah. So listen, we could all go 3 days on rice, right?
Yeah.
You know what I
Sometimes
mean?
I do it by choice.
Really, go 3 days on rice,
No.
baby? I had a little Kojak last night, so he's back.
Okay.
Kojak's going to stop back in.
We either need to change the day we record the show or the day you watch Kojak.
Well, I got it on DVD now.
Oh, you can watch it. So you're watching it every night.
I watched it just last night. Got back yesterday. Big day. Did the half marathon
Yeah,
yesterday.
congratulations. I saw
Thank you.
Had a great time.
My goal was here's the truth. And by the way, thank you to Michael Setterberg, listener of the show, that hooked me up with the whole thing, and his beautiful wife Kimberly. You ever meet people and they don't look anything like you think they're going to look through email?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like his wife Kimberly, I thought was going to look like other than you just envision somebody. I thought she was going to look like a battle axe. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in negative.
What gave you that impression?
I don't know. As I think back
Did you
about
even have any contact with her? Or?
Oh yeah, she because she's in charge. She works at the ASPCA.
Oh, so you were talking to her on the phone.
Nope, just
email.
Just email. And
Did she put a little battle axe emoticon at the end of every email?
She did. She reminded me in text. She reminded me of Alice on the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
I don't know why. I can't. Maybe you would read it and go, "You're nuts."
Right.
But that's how I did. I didn't envision a 60-year-old woman. Or,
Right.
I guess Alice was probably only 45 or whatever at the time, right? But 50? How old would Alice have been?
That's a good question. I bet she was
Double nickel.
in her 50s.
She's the Hagar.
She was definitely older than the parents.
Yeah, but so parents are Greg's 18 at the end.
So they're at least 36.
30. I bet you she was probably Alice was probably between 50 and 55. That'd be my guess.
Sure.
Right?
Karen's working on it.
Trying to get through life as a housekeeper.
I mean, we don't know what the character's age was, but we could, based on the actress's age at the time.
Right,
they
and
filmed
B.
it.
Davis.
Yeah, ABD.
At any
I
rate.
put on an ABD on her every time I turn my TV on.
Get an ABD on that age. Anyway, I met Kimberly, nice young lady, very tiny little thing, nothing at all like I envisioned, very attractive. Michael, you heard it. I just said your wife's attractive.
Okay.
They could not have treated me nicer. I showed up nice. They gave me a beautiful Brooks ASPCA jacket.
Sweet.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I saw he tweeted that picture of you and
Thumbs
him
up?
afterwards, yeah.
Which,
By the way, you looked like you didn't do anything. You looked like you were completely, I always expect someone at the end of something like that to just look like they're about to collapse.
you say that I was okay. I was okay until I got home. Then I collapsed. That's when it happened. They treated me nicely. And by the way, if you're ever going to run in a race like that, VIP is the way to go. If you're a guest of the sponsor, boy, is that nice. There's sandwiches in the little area. There's drinks.
Would you also recommend if you're going to eat beef, you should have a filet mignon instead of a Big Mac?
Not necessarily. Depends what you're in the mood for. I understand.
Obviously, anyone who wants, VIP is good. It's a good thing. Not everyone can do it.
But I'm explaining why.
Okay.
Food, drink.
They give you things.
Yeah, you get a jacket, a beautiful jacket. Gorgeous. Fits me beautifully. Small. I got a nice hat. I wore that to my race, but I wore my own clothing because the SPCA shirt was a little too baggy, a little blousy.
What time of day was that race?
I had to be there between 6:30 and 7.
Oh, nice and early, so it wasn't hot yet.
It wasn't hot at all yesterday, by the way. It was, in fact, I would call it cold.
Well, yeah, the morning was freezing.
It was cold all day.
Was it foggy where you were?
Misty.
Where was it? Down in the south?
Downtown Chicago. Downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah. Where I was, it warmed up in the afternoon.
Yeah, you live in the valley where it's filthy.
And warm.
But very nice. Beautiful day for a race.
Yeah.
I was in Corral 10. There had to be, I don't know, there's about 10,000 people running into this thing. Mm-hmm. That's just a guesstimate on my part. I didn't count. I didn't have people do a head count. And it was good, right? It felt good. And it was funny, like, as I'm doing it for like the first 4 miles, I listened to Phil Hendry for the first 11. 11 to 12 and a half, I listened to Chicago. Bring It Home with the band of my choice. Mm-hmm. And then the last half mile, I put it away and just ran down. Focused to see my son and wife who were at the finish line waiting for me. Mm-hmm. First few miles, I'm running and going, you know what? Marathon next.
Yeah.
By 8.5, we're good.
Yeah.
This is fine. I don't need to do a marathon.
So with your training, did you never run 13.1 until the day, right?
I did 12. 12 was the most.
Okay.
No, 13.1. That's the.
But 12 is. I mean, so what was that like when you had to do 12?
12 was fine. Remember, I told you 10 was the one that beat me up.
Okay.
Because I wasn't hydrated. I wasn't. That was the one I didn't plan well on. Mm-hmm. The 12, the dozen, fine. Baker's dozen, the 13.1. A little extra donut. Extra donut and a bite, yeah. A
little crumb in the corner.
And it was, you know what? The truth is, it was a piece of cake. I enjoyed it. I used the restroom 3 times throughout the race. They're giving you water and Gatorade as you go. I drank more Gatorade yesterday than I have in my life.
So they have little porta potties along the way?
They have little porta potties, yep.
So you didn't go pro style, just let it all go.
No, I didn't.
That's what the pros do, right?
Well, the pros are assholes.
They just run and they pee their pants.
You know what? I'll take what I assume was a 3-minute hit.
Yeah.
On my time, and go use a facilities that are set up for that matter.
But you kept jogging as you were peeing, right? Just
you
got to run in place.
Stay moving. You got to keep those.
It's like being at a stoplight. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, and by the way, those people, you can stop at the stoplight. You know what I mean? I get what you're doing.
Just don't let that heart rate drop.
Just stop. It does. You're there for you fucking weirdo. So, it was fun. I enjoyed it. They had like a band every mile because it was the rock and roll run.
I forgot about that.
One of the bands was playing Chicago, which I thought was neat. When I went past, they were playing "Make Me Smile." Another band was playing all 80s hits. Just a bunch of fun. Mm-hmm. Really enjoyed it. Piece of cake. About mile 9 is where I had a little trouble. My knee and ankle went out at the same time. I hit the road in a weird. It was kind of like you were about to go up you went over a bridge. It was actually the hardest part of the race, so the road it had a little. I don't want to say incline, but like a little. It tapered off into the gutter, and I just was a little too far on the outside lane, and my foot landed oddly.
So yeah, you kind of like tilted.
Yeah. So it kind of and was like, and then in my head, and then it was actually excruciating, and then it went away. But while it was excruciating, I'm like, seriously, I'm going to have to quit at mile 9.
Right.
And but I ran through it. But I will tell you this: it hurts. Mm-hmm. I'm not tired today. I'm not sore today. But where these two things, the outside, like this doesn't hurt, but if that hurts. Outside of my left knee, and then the inside of my left foot, all like a straight line through there.
Sounds like an ACL.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. It's a common injury.
Is it an ABD? Is it an Abby Davis?
It might be. Do we have a?
We'll get to that. We're talking about the race.
I thought you brought it up.
At any rate, great time. Finished up. Couldn't see my wife or son at the finish line. Mm-hmm. They had to meet me at the ASPCA VIP tent. Where they interviewed me. A nice little young lady named Heather interviewed me for the ASPCA website. And the beauty of this is, I don't know anything about the ASPCA.
And you're allergic to most animals.
I'm allergic to most animals. But I know what they do.
Yeah.
So the first 2 questions I was able to fake. And then she said, now you blog a lot. What is this specifically about? And even this isn't right. Because even this you could kind of fake if you wanted to. Yeah. But it was similar to this. What is it specifically that makes you want to be so involved with the ASPCA or whatever she said? But it was worded in such a way like, oh, I just have to come clean here. So I said, I gotta pull the chute on this. I don't know enough about this organization. They were nice enough to invite me here as a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that's awkward considering you don't have a clue who I am as you're talking to me. Considering you had to say, it's Johnny, right? Nope.
And you blog a lot.
I do. I blog a lot.
Did she think you were Johnny Blogs a lot?
She may have thought I was Johnny Hilton.
Okay.
Perez's brother, who's not as popular because he only blogs about animals.
Sure.
So I had to come clean, but it was just so fun. Like, it was just so luckily that her cameraman helped out and said, why don't we talk about how fun the race is? Why don't we go that as opposed to, the hard-hitting journalistic questions, Heather? She was very nice.
Yeah.
They all were nice. Everybody was nice. Felt great. I don't think I'll ever do a marathon. I don't think that's it. But I could see doing these again. Half marathon.
You have the urge to do this again.
I have the urge to do this again. Marathon. And a woman who was also on the ASPCA team made a great point. Marathon that's a life change. You have to change your whole diet.
Yeah.
Like when I would run on like the 12 mile, took 2 hours of my day.
Right.
2 hours isn't 4 hours. You know what I mean? I know that does. I mean, obviously I'm stating the obvious, but to carve 4 hours out to run 3 times a week.
Yeah. That's more exercise in a day than most people do in a week.
Right, especially in this country of ours that is, are full of sloths. I go out there. I work this great country of ours. I go. That's why I'm going to quote myself. That's why I like going to Minneapolis. I walk around the mall. Everybody thinks I'm dying of AIDS because they think I'm the thinnest man alive.
And because of all the open sores.
And the cocks in my mouth. Now the point is this. Had a great time at the race.
So you're not going to do a marathon. Would you consider a Forrest Gump run across America?
Yeah, I'm in. Lots of people. Some people dressed up as Forrest Gump yesterday because it was a Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Themed, which was fun. As Danielle pointed out, thank God it was a costume race because while we were waiting for you, it gave Oliver something to do.
Oh yeah.
So there were Batmans and Robins. A lot of What is it with Mario and Luigi making a huge comeback?
That's what Elise and I are this year.
Yes, I know that, and I want to talk to you about it.
I don't know why.
I want you to pull the plug on that.
I'll tell you why we're doing it.
But I'm going to tell you why to pull the plug. Too many at this race.
Well,
we're
not going to be running any races.
But my point is this: when I saw that your wife posted that on Facebook, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Now it's played out.
I'm concerned for you.
I think it's they put out there was a new Mario game that came out last Christmas, so maybe more kids have been playing it in the last year, and it's just kind of raised the awareness and the popularity of the game. And
so why are you guys going as Mario and Luigi?
Because Zoe loves Mario. She loves Super Mario Brothers. And
what's she play? My son plays Mario Kart.
She can't really play it herself. We play Mario Party, which is a little easier, but she kind of just watches me play. It's Mario. What's it called? New Super Mario Brothers U. It's on the Wii U, and it's hard for me. Like I have a hard time playing it. But
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're younger than me. You're considerably younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with Atari.
Yeah.
I grew up with Mattel and television.
Yeah.
Eventually, Nintendo.
Yeah. But you were like in your 20s by the time Nintendo came out.
1989 or 90. When did that come out?
No, it came out in like 85, I think.
When did the Game Boy come out? That was 88, 89.
Yeah, that was maybe 87. Yeah, it was late 80s, definitely.
I remember buying it. It doesn't matter. It was late 80s. And Mario was a big deal then. Mm-hmm. Well, then I didn't play video games until I had a child.
Right.
So I don't know anything about Sega or any of those. I don't know PlayStation. I really don't know much about any of that stuff.
Right.
Has it been around this whole time, or did it go away and make this huge comeback?
No, there's always been Mario games, like consistent. There's like, probably 50 Mario games, maybe more. I don't know.
Can we agree 49 too many?
I say no.
You love them all.
I love every.
What does a video game cost?
Like $60, $50, depends.
Jesus.
But it's like, think about the hours you can of entertainment.
You know what I'll think about? I'll think about the hours I dust off my
the Wii
Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Well, that didn't
guitars.
have longevity. Yeah, but the Mario games, you can get a lot of play out of them.
Well, why can't I get a lot of play out of Guitar Hero? And why do I refuse to sell it?
It's just that's just kind of
that's made its move from a house to another house. It wasn't being played at the old house.
Yeah, I know. I held on to the guitar because it seems like, well, maybe someday the kids will want to do it.
I guess that's why. And because what child doesn't want to play Barracuda by heart? Who doesn't want to play Mother by Danzig?
Your son might be the rare child who does want to play those classic rock hits because
might.
he's got an ear for that.
He likes, you know what he likes? He likes Thriller. He's a big fan of Thriller. He likes Michael Jackson.
Who doesn't like Thriller? It's the best.
I like it a little long. You know what I bought? I bought him a Halloween CD with a bunch of Halloween songs on it. And as we were listening to it, I was like, I have all of these on my iTunes. I could have just made this CD with the originals because this is the kids singing it.
Kids Bop.
It's not Kids Bop, but it's close to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a new version, by the way, and it cracks Oliver up. The end of Ghostbusters, where the guy just keeps going, "Who you gonna call?" and they yell out.
Yeah.
So I'm yelling out Ghostbusters like I'm annoyed with him asking, "Ghostbusters, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!"
I love it.
Get it through your head. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! And Oliver cracks up as if it didn't happen 4 minutes earlier.
That's what's great about kids. It's what's great and awful at the same time because when you are running a joke into the ground and they keep laughing, it's awesome. When they think something's funny and then they won't stop doing
Nightmare.
It's like, oh no.
Nightmare.
Please stop.
By the way, we went to a Halloween festival over the weekend. A little kid dressed up like Freddy Krueger. Little 7-year-old. We all agreed too young. That's what we could agree on? He doesn't know who he is.
He doesn't necessarily watch the
but
movies.
Then I'm pissed at his parents because they thought that'd be interesting.
No, you could still think that's a cool looking thing. Maybe you see it in the store.
I don't like it.
I'm surprised. Speaking of Ghostbusters, I was surprised to see a kid's Ghostbusters costume in a costume shop.
It was a cartoon for a little while, remember?
Recently?
No.
I mean, there was one in the 80s, but what kid even knows what that is?
Clint, a friend of my son's. Clint and his father, Glenn, dressed up as Ghostbusters last year. May do it again this year because they are beautiful looking.
I think it's a great costume. I was in 85 or whatever year that movie came out, I was a Ghostbuster for Halloween. It was one of my favorite costumes of my childhood. I loved it. I think it's a great choice. I just don't know what kids know it these days. Like, I don't know what but maybe there's a video. Oh, you know what? Yes, there was a Ghostbusters video game that came out a couple years ago.
There we go. Maybe it's that.
Maybe.
Or maybe
there was also a series in the early 2000s.
I've just been told there was. Oh yeah, like the new Ghostbusters or something, right?
An animated series?
Yes, sir.
I think also people just are starting to appreciate Dan Aykroyd again. I think that has a big part of this. Is that our?
Nope.
Is that outside? Quick, we'll go around the room on this. We'll play this game. Who was I for Halloween in 1979? Who was I for Halloween in 1979? 1979. Who was I for Halloween?
Can I narrow it down this much? Is it a rocker?
No.
No, and not a musical person at all. Is it a movie character?
No.
TV character?
No.
Well, then how the fuck are we supposed to guess this? Does it have anything to do with the year? Oh, Jimmy Carter.
No.
That's my guess.
All right, he guessed Jimmy Carter, 1979. I hope it's 79.
I don't know why you would be Jimmy Carter.
Could have been 78.
Even amongst presidential costumes, that's one of the worst.
Jimmy Carter? But he was our president. Why are you mad at Jimmy Carter?
I just mean in terms of the look. Like with Reagan, you could do the hair. You know, there were certain things. You could make yourself look real old. Clinton was a goofball. But like Carter, what do you have, buck teeth or something?
Was it a politician?
No.
Okay, then that takes care of my guess.
Well, who are you going to say?
Nixon.
No. But you know what? You guys are in the right area.
So it's a real person. Not a character.
It is a real person.
Real person. We're in the right area.
I'm trying to do a Google search as we speak to make sure that I got the year right. Yeah, 1979. So what do we got, guys? Let's go. I want answers.
Not a politician.
Let's go. Hands on buzzers.
I don't know what you
mean. Real
mean.
person, and it was a big.
Well, we're all too young to know what was happening inside. Whoa, was it the Ayatollah?
No, but not very close at all. Garen, will you answer this and see if it's our guest outside?
I'm close with the Ayatollah?
Not really, but it was a big.
This is infuriating.
Only because
Manuel Noriega.
They're two different worlds. One,
right.
The Ayatollah, evil and angry.
Ayatollah Assahola.
This gentleman, a peacemaker.
Oh, Gandhi.
No.
Ariel Sharon.
1979.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now you're thinking of My Sharona. That would have been 79.
Would have been
By the
80.
way, listen to Rock Solid, the most recent episode. You get to hear Pat Francis and I say 4 words while the bassist from the Knack talks nonstop. Sit right over there, sir. We'll bring you into the mix in half a second here. Garen, close that door. Apparently, Jay doesn't know how to use a door.
Gold in my ear.
Gold in my ear. Again, awful guess. Garen, we're still guessing. I've given the hint of...
A peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Kind of a peaceful man. How about that? A peaceful man. 1979, who did I go dressed as for Halloween? 1979. Peaceful man, Ayatollah's been taken.
I was going to say Oliver North, but that cannot be right.
Too
No,
early.
way too early. You're such a young kid. You're such a young
That wasn't
kid.
the Dalai Lama.
No, I wouldn't go as the Dalai Lama.
Was it Richard Gere?
Yeah. I went as Richard Gere in Officer and a Gentleman. And I had a stuffed, beautiful woman on my back dressed as Deborah Winger.
Nice.
She was just on the Alec Baldwin show on MSNBC.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, by the way, great actor. He really is a great actor.
Yes.
And Deborah Winger, I'm still in love with her as much today as I was back in 79. I still find her irresistible. She's like candy. That's a quote from Officer and a Gentleman. Boy, that might be, that and Brian's Song as a child, maybe the 2 movies I cried the hardest at. And obviously Herbie Goes to Town.
You got to tell us. Was
Pope
her,
John Paul II.
Oh,
Pope John
yeah.
Paul
I
II.
almost went.
he visited?
Right, you didn't, did you?
No, sir, I did not.
He visited the U.S. in '79.
Came to Chicago.
Yeah.
I saw him at Quincy College. He did his sermon from the roof. From the roof?
It's a great
Great
costume.
It was a terrific costume to be mocked and ridiculed because you're a 13-year-old boy walking around dressed as the Pope.
That's why I love it. I love the idea of a little kid pope.
Made it myself, by the way.
Ah.
Not hard to do.
Bed sheet.
Bed sheet, and then I cut some other cloth out, made the hat. Mm-hmm. I think I probably got a photograph of it somewhere, too. It was a nice-looking costume.
Mm-hmm.
What were you in 79?
I was 5.
So you would have been 78, a superhero of some sort, maybe?
I don't remember. Yeah, that one I don't know. Maybe a goblin. I remember like one of the first ones that I remembered making of myself was a goblin. I was like a little
Green Goblin?
no, just a little guy. It was a shitty costume. I didn't know what I was doing. I think I painted my face green and that was it.
I think it sounds great.
I had a little gourd. That was like my prop. You gotta have a prop.
With a gore...
You know, like a little a gourd. You know what a gourd is?
I may not.
It's like it's in the pumpkin family. I
Yeah,
think.
it's a fruit, not a vegetable.
Yeah, it's like a
Like a green...
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
like-
ugly looking piece
right.
of
something
food.
something a goblin would carry around as a weapon,
Would he?
or food, or something. I don't know what I was thinking he was doing with it. It's just a. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I thought that was. I think it was just lying around.
I guess that's why when you said, you know what a gourd is, I didn't. I know what a gourd is, but I assumed maybe it was a word for another
something
thing.
else. You were
Because
hoping
why
I
would you
wasn't
be
that
bringing-
weird.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
I also love it. And you grew up on a farm, so why wouldn't you bring a gourd with you?
We probably grew it ourselves.
I work with a guy over at Conan named Gordo. Did you carry him around?
Yes. My costume was Gordo's valet.
All right, listen, let's take a break.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, again, thanks to Michael and his wife Kimberly for helping me out there at the half marathon. It was a terrific day. I enjoyed myself. I never gave my time.
You beat what you were trying to go for.
Here was all right. Worst case scenario is I wanted. There's a young girl at Conan who did a half marathon and finished at 2:29:50.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever reason, I wanted to beat her.
Right.
I don't know why. She's 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's
And running isn't a sport that like men have an advantage over women. Sort of at the high end they do, but like distance running.
I don't know why, Matt, but
Just
in my
being
head,
in
I
shape
kind of
is
just
all that
wanted to
matters.
beat her. It was my own goal.
Yeah.
Was she's the only other person I know that did a half marathon? Maybe that's why.
Right. Okay.
I want to beat her. That's my goal.
So even if it had been a guy 20 years younger,
Yes.
you would have wanted to beat
Wouldn't have
that.
mattered.
Yeah.
Just
You're not a sexist pig.
no, I'm not. I may be. Realistically, I thought I can do 2:20. That's what I thought I could do. 2:20.
Right.
Official time 2:14:30.
Boom.
2 hours, 14 minutes, 30 seconds,
Nice.
which I'm going to challenge because according to my
Oh.
stopwatch, it was between 2:12 and 2:13.
Huh.
I will accept their ruling. Whatever they want to hand down, I will accept it. But I felt, by the way, 2:14:30 still a win.
Yeah.
But in my head, somehow 2:12 sounded so much better. I don't know why.
It does. It just has a nice ring to it.
It does.
Now, are you going to deduct your bathroom break times from that?
If I could, I'm not, but I could certainly take 3 minutes off of and knock that down to a 11:30 if I wanted to. I'm not gonna. No, it's part of it.
Next time? Will you just pee in your pants?
No,
please.
Why? Who wants to walk around with urine?
Well, when you're done, you shower off anyway.
But I still have all those miles to run with pee pants. I don't need that.
You got to be in the zone. Don't worry about it.
I'm not in the zone, baby. I'm a gentleman. I'm still going to walk and use the facilities. They're right there. I lost 3 minutes. Who cares?
Plus, it's not a habit you want to start.
What, pee in my pants?
While you're walking or running?
I don't know. It sounds like a great habit.
What about a diaper? Would you?
Worst day of my life is when my son got out of diapers. Now I got to bring him to a bathroom.
Do they make a jogger's diaper?
I would imagine. I don't know, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just accept that I stop.
I don't like it.
You don't even do. You're not one to judge.
But when you're trying to be fast at something, the worst thing you can do is stop.
I beat both of my marks. I wanted to beat 230. I wanted to beat 220.
But think about how great it would feel
to go 11:30
pee in your pants.
It would feel horrible. I just can't imagine the chafe that would happen, brother. I don't need that, baby.
Maybe it's a salve. Maybe it would have made your knee feel better.
Nah, I don't know about that.
It's like when you get a stingray bite. You pee on it.
Just have somebody pee on it?
Yeah.
All right. Something to think about for future half marathons. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll bring our guest into the mix. We'll go around the horn. We'll introduce everybody. We'll do what needs to be done. We'll be back right after this.
Podcastathon 2013 is less than a month away. Don't forget to add it to your calendar. November 29th, noon to midnight Pacific time. We're raising money for Smile Train. Check it out, support, and enjoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the program. This is still episode, what did we have, 13, 18? 13, 16. Time dragged so slowly in the break that I thought that we,
that we did
2 weeks
more
later than what it is. All right, let's go around the room. Let's talk about a couple of things. We'll bring our guest in the mix. We're thrilled to have him here. Garen Cockrell from the Pop Culture Beast. Garen, hello.
Hello, sir.
Garen, you had a huge yard sale yesterday. How did it go?
I did. It went pretty well for me, not so well for other people who were with me.
Oh, did the Jackbone piggyback on this thing with you?
He was with me, yeah.
So
when you say Jackbone, do you mean Elliot?
I mean Elliot, yeah. Well, Elliot's been running his mouth. Jake Johannsen's here. Jake, you can jump in.
I can talk now?
You know what? I feel horrible, because we're going to have a bigger conversation than I anticipated. Anyway, let me walk you through it. As you know from the live show, I never met this guy.
Yeah.
In all my years of comedy, I did see him. You don't know this. I saw you do a set on Letterman in 2002, February of 2002. I was there shooting my Comedy Central Presents. And Eddie Brill was kind enough. He actually gave me the 2 tickets you weren't using.
Oh, so you came to the taping of the show.
I came to the taping of Letterman.
But we didn't say hi after the show.
No,
Okay.
No, I can't get you backstage, but I can let you use Jake's tickets. Thanks, Ed.
It's tricky. I can't get anyone to come on the show. I have friends who say, I'm going to New York in October. Can you get me to... And it's like, no, I can't. No one... You can get 2 tickets for your friends when you're on the show.
Right.
But Dave doesn't want people who are friends of friends... He wants the show to be audience, regular fans.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what. Well, that's
I got
what
another
I heard.
theory that I'll talk about off air.
Okay, because it's that mean.
It's maybe.
Okay, off the air.
Off air conversation. Anyhow, I saw you that night. I was there. It was, of course, right after 9/11, where the world had changed. As had your hairstyle since the time I saw you prior to that.
I feel like I've held myself back by changing my hairstyle and then taking off the glasses, and now I have a beard. But this is a consolation thing for not having as many acting roles as I feel like, I'm just pretending that I have a role where I have to have this beard right now. And then I'll shave it off in a couple of years. But yeah, I've changed my hair a bunch of times. So people, you're so lucky if you're a big fat guy because everybody recognizes you when you come back to town. It's like, oh, that's that guy.
Right.
I mean, I really think it helps.
Unless you're, who is Eddie Gosling? Remember Eddie Gosling out of Austin, Texas? He lost
all the weight. Yeah.
And a comedy career.
Yeah.
I think he's a writer now. I don't know.
It all went down the toilet.
He's a good man. He's married to Megan Mooney? Megan?
I don't know.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know.
I think they have a little boy named Oliver as well.
I worked with him. Well, I didn't work with him. I went to see him at the other club in St. Louis, which is where everybody had told me about you. Oh, you'd be on the calendar. And they go, do you know this guy? You're going to meet this. You would love this guy. So that's my experience of you, is working in clubs and having the staff tell me, oh, this guy, oh, Jimmy. He's
But
great.
you would. I'm a nice man. I'm fun to hang out with.
I like to think of this as the beginning of a thing.
There is no doubt in my mind that it is.
It's going to take off.
And I usually go negative, and I just went very positive, didn't I?
Yeah.
Usually, my usual joke was, I don't think that happened.
It's not going to work.
And then, all right. So anyway, let's get Matt. The honcho is
Hello,
here.
hello.
Our friend Jake Johannsen is here. We're thrilled to have him on board.
Elliot Hochberg, INDHD.
Elliot Hochberg from INDHD.com. Now, all right. So Garrett, you have the yard sale. I know you put an ad on. It's Craigslist. You mentioned it on Facebook, if I may, one too many times.
You're mispronouncing 5.
5 too many times. Did you think
What's the rule of how many times? Like if you're a comedian, you got a gig coming up. I'm going to Denver next week, which I am. Thank you. And how many times are you allowed to post that on your Twitter, Facebook thing? Is it one time? Hey, this week I'm going, or is it
No,
next?
Twitter you can do it as much as you want because no one reads it all. But I think on Facebook I feel like I see everything. So I do. If you're going to post it 5 times, I'm going to see it 5 times.
I do. You know what I do? I do it once when the tickets are on sale. Like, hey, you're going to be in Chicago. And then the week of, I'll put it, don't forget this weekend, I'll be in Chicago. That's it for me. Now, keep in mind, I played a half-filled house.
You're a bad businessman.
I'm a bad businessman.
Doesn't understand
I'm a
social
bad
media.
promoter, and I don't understand social media. So I'm the wrong guy to ask.
But sometimes on a Wednesday, you're on your way. You're trying to get to halfway. I'm trying to get half full. Sometimes on a Wednesday, that first night, the night when
Yeah.
it hasn't been plugged. But I always feel like everybody sees it a lot of times on Facebook too. I got 5,000 friends. I'm not bragging, but that's the
Yeah,
maximum.
that's
Because I
true.
got a page, and then I got a fan page, and now you can subscribe to your regular page. So now I've got a page and a fan page, and I wish they were all one thing.
You do?
No, you can't call anyone on the phone and get them to combine those, can you? You got to tell your fans, look, now I'm quitting this and subscribe to that.
I
They're
did
not-
that. I shut one down and started a fan page, and now I have I'm Jim Pardo, and that's the one. And I'm going to say something here. If you need to, because what I do, Jake, is I send out if I don't know you, or if you're a friend of a friend, if I send out a nice message, I don't mean to insult you by sending this to you, but I keep this page friends, family and close friends only, so that they don't have to deal with comedy nonsense. I think it's more than you would think. I get emails going, "Come on, man, you know me. I was the waitress in Dayton." If you have to remind me who you are, you don't belong on the friends and family page.
That's tough love.
Right? I wrote that shit, baby.
It's tough love. Yeah,
anyway-
that's what I don't want to get into.
But you got to do it. You got to shut it down.
But I'm not doing any friend thing on Facebook. People say, "Oh, I sent you a message on Facebook." Well, I don't. I only broadcast on there. I can't get messages because people are allowed to invite you to things that you don't even know. Like I'm not going to go to your open mic show in Florida.
Think about it. Why not? You and I take a trip. You say this is the start of
Okay,
something
well now
new?
you're making it sound
Let's
good.
go cross country. Now you're making.
Let's rent a caddy.
I'll do
Can
that.
you rent a caddy?
You mean a guy to carry our clubs? Is that what you mean?
Both.
No, why not?
Yeah.
Play some golf along the way?
Yeah, just one caddy for both of us. We make him carry both bags. We're already springing for the car.
Right?
Yeah.
What, are we loaded? We're not loaded.
No,
that guy's
we're not.
lucky to have the gig.
And he
We're
gets to drive
driving to
with you.
Florida and rented caddy.
Yeah.
Right? So he's chauffeur and caddy. Or does he
right.
sit in the back while we take turns driving?
He's in the back.
Maybe we take 3 turns, but when he's driving, we're both in the back.
And
I love
wait,
everything about this. I
Yeah,
love
I'm
it.
just saying
and
that's
then
the way
he's
it
in the
feels
back.
to
He's
me.
always alone. He's always in his own.
He's
right.
always alone.
Yeah, he's
If one
always
of you is
alone.
driving, you're both up front. He's
We're
in the
sitting
back.
up front and we're talking. We're friends. If he interrupts us, we go, "Excuse me, we're talking," and he has to ride with the clubs and all of his stuff wherever he's sitting. He has to have he has to move his things from the back seat to the front seat. That's just how I feel.
I like how we don't put the clubs in the trunk.
he's got
That's for our clothes.
Right? That's you're right. That's for
our
a change of
clothes.
outfits.
Yeah.
That's
So Jimmy,
wonderful.
when do I
Oh my
start?
God, that's loud.
Oh, first
Why
of
is
all,
that
it's
so
loud.
loud?
Second of all, Elliot,
before.
if you think that you and I would ever go cross country together without you being stabbed and buried by the 4th mile, you're nuts.
But it sounds like you would just abuse this person the whole time.
No, we're not abusing him. We're letting him drive. We're letting him carry the clubs. We're letting him sit in the back comfortably.
Bingo. For him, it's a treat. If it doesn't,
Right.
if this doesn't sound like it's a treat to you, you're the wrong person for the job.
Right.
But if it sounds great, that's who we want.
You're our
We
guy.
want a guy who'll move his clubs back and forth and be grateful about it.
Right? And not interrupt.
Yeah.
So you're already out of the fucking running.
All right, I'm sorry.
You've interrupted this riff. This riff was going wonderfully, and you came in louder than fucking God, going, "When do I start?" Therefore, derailing. We got Jake Johannsen here, 57 times on Letterman. You think video guys should be fucking saying a peep?
You
Shut it
downgraded
down.
him to video guy.
That's
he just
all-
lost his name.
Right. Yes. Am I accurate? How many times on Letterman?
42 times.
I said 57.
You upgraded me a little
We
bit.
got to move you, baby. We got to.
I was when I did that, like the 40th one or something. Eddie goes, "Hey, when you do 50, we're gonna have a cake." And I go, "Okay, it's once a year. Is David gonna live that long? You know, is he gonna be hosting the show when he's 70? I don't think so. But maybe. I'm at 42. He's only got to go 8 more years.
8 more. He just re-upped for 2 years.
I don't think he's gonna die, but I think he might decide.
bail on
like, yeah, look, I want to go swimming.
Are you reading? Are you reading the Carson book, by the way?
No,
The new one that Bushkin wrote.
I heard it was good. It's his accountant, right?
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
It's his lawyer.
You know who was telling me about that book? I'm going to drop a name, Alan Havey.
We love Alan Havey.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Alan Havey. Worked with Al a lot of times. He's a good man.
He's a good guy. And he's a great book reviewer.
He gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, he did. He said it was terrific.
You know, we've heard these rumors, and there's other stuff written about how much of a dick Carson was, who, by the way, is my hero. Let's not let that slide. This book confirms it all.
Well, he was a person. You know, he's a person. And he was from that old school of showbiz. You know, nowadays, it's hard for me to even get used to this idea that, you're going to do a podcast. Like the first couple episodes of the podcast are me just basically, is this on? How does it work? I'm just doing it. And then you kind of figure it out. But these are so different from when I started out. You would get your material right. You would do 5 minutes on Letterman. People would see it that night. And then that was it. Maybe they'd rerun it once or twice. It wasn't out there forever. And then you do a special, and that would sort of exist for a while. But you really could control people's perception of you. And nowadays, it's like, no, you got to tweet and you got to do podcasts and you go on someone else's podcast. If someone's shooting something, you stick your face in. It's every moment of your life is kind of being captured. But he was from that time where you could be one thing on TV and then be completely different. And so we're still surprised when we find that out. Right?
I guess to the point, but often he was not nice. He wasn't.
was mean?
Yeah,
A meanness?
He's not a nice guy. And it,
And a womanizer, right?
Well, listen, let's not badmouth the guy, man.
I'm asking you. You're
Guy
reading the
wants
book.
to-
I haven't read it.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's good mouthing him. You know, if you were saying he was something that we knew he was heterosexual, so he's having sex with some ladies.
But he was married.
But he's also married.
He's a
You're
married
right.
man. And maybe have a
Yeah.
little respect for the institution.
I do. I'm not sleeping around with my wife.
You've been married 20-something
When
years.
we go cross country, it's no strip clubs. We're just, we're having a good time.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
not-
enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have that guy naked. Maybe we'll have him strip in the back seat.
Hey, maybe it's a lady. Maybe the caddy's a lady.
We never thought about that.
I did.
Hey guys, Matt here with some dates for you. Jake Johannsen's podcast, Jake This, is on iTunes, and it's at jakethis.com. His next show is at Comedy Works in Denver, Colorado. That's November 7th, 8th, and 9th. He's in Zanies, Chicago on the 15th, and Rosemont on the 16th. And he's doing a benefit show at Magicopolis with Derek Hughes. That's a magic show and comedy. That's on the 17th of November. Check that out in Santa Monica. Jimmy Pardo is going to be at Zanies in Chicago on the 1st and Rosemont on the 2nd of November. And he's at Flappers in Burbank, California, November 22nd and 23rd. Go to jimmypardo.com for all his dates and links, and enjoy.
To see this whole episode or for more great content with comedian Jimmy Pardo, head over to podcast.com. Don't forget to share, rate, and subscribe.